Hello guys, my name is Joseph Jerry. Today I'm going to be teaching you something done with HTML and CSS. It's a profile card that shows a person's information and stuff like that. Before I get started, I want you to help me click on my subscribe button, like and share this video to help other developers learn how to create their own profile card. The first thing I want to do in the development of my profile card is to create a folder. Right inside of my folder, I have two subfolders. One of it is my CSS where my style sheet will be, and the other is my image folder. Already I have a list of images inside of my image folder. I'm going to open up my folder using Visual Studio Code text editor. Yes, of course, you can make use of any text editor of your choice. I'm going to click on this open environment instead of my Visual Studio Code and create my index page. I'm going to click inside of my CSS folder and create my style sheet. I'm going to remove this title to profile card. Now let's go to the main project to see what we're about to do. Instead of my project, we have a colored background. I'm going to create a div for it. I'm going to call it profile card. And right inside of my profile card div, I have a container of width of 50%, this white background. So I'm going to call that container. And right inside of my container profile card, I have two divisions. One of it is the body and the other is my footer. So for that body, I'm going to call profile about. And right under the profile about, I'm going to create a div. I'm going to call this profile copy. Instead of my profile about, we have an image cover where my profile picture is. So I'm going to create a div for that. I'm going to call this image cover, just the way I have said it. And right inside of my image cover, I have a div where my image is inserted. So I'm going to create a div for it, and I'm going to call it, give it a class name of image, and insert my image inside of it. Now, the next thing we're going to do is to put in my name. Yes, of course, you can also do that with your name. Right under my image cover, under it, I'm going to give a break line for one, and I'm going to insert my name inside of an h2 tag and go to the next thing we have. Now we have a list of icons here. I'm going to put that in a list, on that list, and insert in between it. I should have my an anchor tag, and insert my image in between the anchor and call out my icons. So I'm going to copy this 4 times because I have 4 icons there, and change them to my social media links that I want. Twitter, and the last one should be my favorite, Pinterest. If you've never been to Pinterest before, I want you to go there. We have inspiring pictures, amazing photos made by different people that can inspire you as a web developer. Now we are done with our link here. We have a logo, and we have the founder and CEO as the title of that logo. I'm going to put right under it, open a p tag, and call out the logo that we have there, and give a new line, create a new line with a break, and insert the founder and CEO or the text inside of a small tag. The next thing we have is our website, and if you notice, is a link, and we have the PLU with a different font family, and this tocore.com with a different font family. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to copy this and paste one down, and I'm going to take away my image, but I'm going to leave the break so that we have a new line. And I'm going to put the PLU instead of a span tag and give this an inline style. I'm going to call the font family Cjo script, and do the same thing for the give a span, open a span tag, and inside of it we should have the tocore.com, and also create a style, an inline styling for this with the font family of Lato. The next thing we want to do is to copy out this about me. You can type about yourself. I'm going to bring this one down. I'm going to take away this text we have, but I'm going to leave the BR, which is our break line, and paste in my about me. So I'm going to go back to the website here and remove this and type in website as the title, and remove this CO and also, remove that, and also type about me. The next thing I'll do is to copy this and paste one down, and I'm going to take away this stuff and go back to the main projects we have. Now we have our email and also our phone contact, and in front of that email we have an image, an icon. So I'm going to call out the image that we have and change this instead of our small tag to email, and in front of the email we should be having our email typed in front of it. You can also put your email address if you have one, or if you don't have any, you make use of my. You copy this and paste one. I'm going to take away this and insert my phone number. Just make this beautiful and put inside of our small tag, you can say telephone. I'm going to change this icon for my email. Now the next thing we're going to do is to create our occupation. I have a list of occupations here, and those are the stuff I do currently. I'm going to paste this one down and take away this stuff, but I'm going to leave my BR tag, which is to create a new line. I'm going to paste in the stuff I just copied. I'm also going to copy this one down and copy my special interest and activity. And before I do that, I'll go right back to my occupation and take away that text we have there and type in occupation, and remove this as well and type in special interest so that I don't forget. Special interests and activities. And I'm going to take away this and paste my special interest and activity. Yes, of course, I love coding more. And you can also make use of hobby here, or if you wish, hobbies. I think hobbies is interesting to use. Now the last thing we're going to do is the English, the language spoken, and just the normal thing we've been doing. I'm going to bring this one down and leave my break line and take away this text. and I'm going to change this to language spoken. Yeah. Make this a. Now we're done with our body. Now I'm going to go right straight into our footer and copy this, and I'm going to paste it, insert it inside of a p tag and paste it right there. Now let's view what we've done so far in our browser to see what we have done before we start styling. I'm going to style this profile card, the project we began, step by step, styling one div at a time. So I'm going to go back to my text editor. Now what I normally do is to split this screen. I can click right here to split my screen. I'm going to click on my CSS that I want to split. Then I have my CSS at the right hand side of my screen, and my HTML at the left hand of my screen. The reason why I do this is because I don't want to navigate from my index page to my style sheet page. So we just have them in one screen, and I can actually style it while I look at the div I want to style. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to reset the default setting for my page. Now if I go back to the original, to my file, you notice we have a spacing right here. That's because there is a padding and there's a margin by default there. So I'm going to take those padding and margin away from our page, and if I refresh this, now it's not working because we forgot to link our CSS to our web page. So I'm going to type in link that. Now I'm going to type in my link, and I'm going to find my folder, CSS folder, and my main.css, and if I go back to refresh, we have the padding and margin taken away from our web page. One interesting thing I want to do is to say border box, box sizing. I'm going to call this border box. Now the first thing I'm going to do is like I said, we're going to do it div by div. So I'm going to start with my profile card, and right under the default setting, the setting we've created, I'm going to type in my .profile card, and we're going to give this a width of 100%. And we're going to float this container left. I like floating every container. And we are going to give our background with a linear gradient, and we use 440 degree. And I have my two color. The first color using my hexadecimal color is 330066, and the second color of my hexadecimal is 993300. Now let's go and see what we've done. Yeah, we have the two colors inside of our profile card. Right under my profile card, I want to take away any overflow that I'm going to be having for my horizontal lines to be hidden. Now we have an overflow here, that's why we have an horizontal scroll bar, but if I refresh that, there won't be any. The only scroll bar that will be left is this bar, scroll bar. Now since I'm done my profile card, I'm going to go straight into the container profile card. And so my container profile card, I'm going to give a width of 50% and margin of auto. The margin auto, we are allowed the computer to calculate for us. It is giving it a width of 70 or 50% from this point to this point, and everything inside of it is centered at the middle of our page. Because of this margin auto, the computer is helping us to calculate for us. And I'm going to say give a spacing. I want the top and bottom to be 60 pixels and left and right to be 0 pixels. If I refresh that, right at the top of our page we have a space up here. I am also going to give this a margin bottom so that we can, when we scroll down, we can have a space a nice space under it, and I'm going to say my margin bottom should be 60 pixels, and if I refresh this, I should have a spacing under my footer. Now I'm done with my profile, my container. I'm going to move straight into my typing my profile about, and the first thing I want to do is to give this a white background of white, and text should be black. Yes, and we should give this a width of 100% so that it takes the whole container. And I want to give this a font family of Calibri. All right, under my, now let's go and see what we've done. We have our white background and we have our text black, and I think we are almost done with this project. Now I'm done with this, and what I want to do, I would like for there to be a division, a spacing, a clear space from my footer to my profile about. So I'm just going to give this a margin bottom. It's hard to type while I'm talking. 100 pixels will do, and if I refresh that, this is where my footer is. Or I should just give this 80. Yeah, that's better. Now I'm going to go straight into my image cover that we have, and instead of my image cover here, we want to work on the beauty of that. So we have I'm going to select this, take a width of 100%, and of course I'm going to float this left. This is important to float left when you want to work with responsiveness, a very good responsiveness. So I'm going to say 15. Give inside of it, I should have a space top and bottom, 15 pixels. We have a space on top of it and under our file. So I am going to give this an height of auto, as I want the computer to calculate it for me. And inside of it, we should put in our image, img, background image, and I'm going to call outside of my css file and go into my image, then put in my person 4. I'm going to say background repeat, no repeat, background positioning. I'm going to set this to center, and I'm going to say background size, I want this to cover. And we're done with that. If I go back to the page, you see a space instead of it. Now that's because this is the image, and we're going to work on it so that we can likely see. Now I'm going to speak to the image container where our image is inserted into. I'm going to give this image a width of 200 pixels and also an height of 200 pixels to make a perfect square. And I'm going to give this a margin of auto, a margin auto. What I want is for it to center at the middle of our container. Now it's at the center. You won't see that because it's a container. I'm going to speak to my image. So I'm going to say img. Now this one is having a dot because it's the class, and this is just the image we want to speak to. I'm going to give this a width of 100% and also an height of 100%. And when we view, we have a beauty like this. And I want the border. I'm going to give this a rounded border. I should do this inside of my image. Let the image. So I'm going to say border radius. Border radius is to give it a curved corners. So let me give this so that you see what I'm talking about. I'm going to say 20 pixels here. Now at the edge of our container, you see we have a smooth corners 4. So I'm going to just take this. I want it to be round. So I'm going to say 50%. You might think that's too much, but I believe that will be perfect. And I think we are done with our image cover. It's beautiful. It's our own version. Now we're going to move to our h2 tag, and I'm going to say h2. I'm going to give it a font family of CGO script, and I want my GeoScript to be at the center of our page already, at the center of our page. So I'm going to say text align. Oh, sorry about that. Text align center, and I think we're done with that. I want a space. I want to give this a space. Enough. Let me come back to my index page and put in a break line here. Okay, let me just give this a margin top from here. Margin top of 20 pixels. Okay, we're going to go back to that and see what we can do about it. Maybe because of this image we have here. So we're going to move right straight into our UL and LI. LI, then IMG. Let's dock to the images. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the into my index page and give a width right from here, and say I want to have a width of 40. Let me see how. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to copy this width, or let me just type this. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste. Now we have a black dot here at our list, because it's a list. That's why we have the dot. So I'm going to say ULLI. I'm going to say list style, which is none, and it's taken away. It's gone. I want to put it. I want it to be displayed inline at our horizontal. So display inline. It's displayed inline. I'm going to go right straight into our UL, and I want my list to be at the center of our page, and it's at the center. Right inside of my LI, I want this to have a padding of let's say 20 pixels. Now spread. I should bring this UL down a little. Okay, I think we are done with our list. I'm going to work on our logo. I'm going to go back into our index page, and this is our logo here. I'm also going to give this a width of 50. Yeah, but it's too small. I'm going to give this a width of 100 and see how far. Now that's good. It's looking nice. I think we're done with that. Under our logo, we have, sorry about that, we have a small tag. I'm just going to speak to it direct immediately, and I'm going to say font family. No, let me give this a color of gray, and I want it to be bold. So I'm going to say font width. I want it to be bold, and here we go. Now we have our p tags. Almost all the tags are like joined together. That's because from the beginning we zeroed out the padding and margin. I'm going to say p tag, and I'm going to give every p tag a margin top of 20 pixels. Yeah, it's nice. And inside of it also, I'm going to give a padding of 0%. That means top and bottom top and bottom to be 0, but left and right I want to give a spacing of 15 pixels for it to look nice and neat. I think we are through. Now I'm going to work with an icon. Yes, of course. What I'm going to do is go straight to where we have the icons there, and I'm going to say width of 30, and let me see how it's going to look like. Okay, I'm going to reduce this a little to be 20. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy out this image, but I want it to be aligned. I want it to be aligned with our email. So I'm going to cut this out and put it in a sub, in a soup. Let me put that in a soup tag, and it should, okay, put in a sub tag. So I want it to come down. Okay, it's okay now. So what happened, that it brought down my icon a little. She read about that tag. A lot of people don't make use of it often, but I see it as an handy tag that you can actually use whenever you're developing. I'm going to copy out my width I gave to my email icon and also paste it inside of my core image, which is the same thing as my logo. And I'll do the same thing, copy out my image and put it in a sub tag and paste that. We should have it aligned, and we are done. The last thing I'm going to do is to give a spacing at the bottom of our page. So I'm going to go straight into our profile about and say padding bottom should be 20 pixels, and if I refresh that, we have a space. Let me make this 30. Okay, now it's looking beautiful. Now the last thing I'm going to do is to style my footer. I'm going to say profile copy, and inside of my power copy I want to give it a width of 100% as well, and I also want it to float left. And the last thing I'm going to do is give it a color of smoke white or white smoke. You just have kind of an ash color, and give my font family of array. And lastly is to center this, align center. I think the best thing I'm going to do is to put in my footer inside of or I can just come right straight to this place and say font size and give me a 12 pt. Okay, let me make this 10. Now it's looking nice and beautiful. Thank you guys, we're done with our project, though it's looking like the original projects we use. This is the original one, and we have a different background. Okay, I think we didn't have a space on top of our h2, and I think that's how we're going to really make it look like. You see, it's beautiful and nice. So help me share this video to help other developers learn how to create their own profile card. Please do not forget to subscribe and like this video. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much.